My name is Hercule Poirot. I am probably the greatest detective in all the world. I should have really grown a mustache. My mustache. I don't think I could ever grow the Hercule Poirot mustache. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to try, but I just of my facial hair, of the hair I am actually capable of growing. I am more than capable of growing a mustache, and I can even grow. Or excuse me, I'm more capable of growing a beard. Obviously, I wear mutton chops a lot. Um, and I am even capable of growing a mustache. I'm capable of growing a mustache without any problem. The Hercule Poirot mustache, however, is a little out of my league. Because when you actually look at it in the movie, it's actually like one mustache, like that goes like this and upwards, and then excess mustache. But that's done now. I saw Murder on the Orient Express when it came out, and I really liked it. I had a really good time with it. Kenneth Branagh was he sold that movie, man. He was fantastic. And me and my dad both really liked it. Um, uh, and we'll watch it oftentimes when it's just playing on TV. So, Death on the Nile, I had high hopes for it, but then it got delayed. There was the Army Hammer controversy. And then finally we have it. My general thoughts on the movie, I did very much like it. I like a good mystery movie too, like a whodunit. I loved Murder on the Orient Express. I really like this movie. I don't think it's as good as Murder on the Orient Express, but still, was it Death by Murder or no Murder by Death? I had a little good time with that. So I enjoy a really good whodunit movie. And this is a really good movie. It's got some I got minor complaints, quibbles. Let's call them quibbles. Nothing that really hurts the movie overall. But things that just stood out to me, certainly. First and foremost, all the acting is on point, fantastic. Kenneth Branagh, again, he just sells this role. A couple of the standout roles, though, or actors particularly. Russell Brand. Now, I've seen Russell Brand in many things, and I like it in a couple. I stand as someone who likes Rock of Ages. I do. I recognize maybe it's not the most unique script in the world, but it's a jukebox musical, and I like those. And he's fun in there. Get him to the Greek. Freaking Sarah Marshall. Not a big fan of Hop, but whatever. But I've always just seen him as that kind of crazy Brit who is always talking like. It's always like, look, I'm wild, I'm crazy, but I'm hip and with it. And say what you will about him as a person, I can't say I agree with everything. He does come off as kind of like I've figured it out and you haven't kind of individual. But without that being said, I didn't know he could actually do good acting. I didn't know he could actually act legitimately, and he actually does a really good job in the film. I really give him props for that. Who played? What's her name? Not Catherine. Stupid IMDb, not giving me the full list. Where is the full top? I don't care about the top cast. I just care about the cast. Let's see here now. There we go. I mean, Gal Gadot, I will say. Again, she's one of those actresses who came on the scene. It wasn't the strongest. I really enjoy Wonder Woman. I own Wonder Woman, but you could tell Patty was doing the best she can with the limited amount of acting abilities that Gal Gadot had. And she has slowly started to improve as time has gone on. I think she's legitimately good in the film. I think she's legitimately good. You buy her when she's happy. You buy her when she's scared. I don't know if I say I buy her so much as angry, but everything's kind of melding her. You buy her when she's upset, like she's kind of feeling sorry. You buy her in the role, definitely. Who was it? It was not Rose Leslie. There is Letitia Wright, and then the woman playing her mother. What was the character's name? Because I'm not going to find the actress's name. I'm not going to know that. Okay, where is that character? It's Solemn. I know it began with an S. What was it? Solemn. There we go. Salome. That's Sophie. God. Okanedo, and Letitia Wright. I loved both of those characters. It does bring up, and I'll get to Armie Hammer in a second. It does bring up to something that I'm like, well, this is interesting for 1937. So in the first Murder on the Orient Express, there was an interracial couple. It was Daisy Ridley and, oh God, I can't remember the name of the guy who was the doctor and her lover, but they do. Poirot correctly points out, like, oh look, you're not in America anymore. There's nothing wrong with feeling what you feel, and being who with what you're with. I'm like, oh okay, and you know what? That's well addressed. I'm like, but here in 1937, you've got at least one actual interracial couple where it's like, oh okay, well great, hey, cool. I mean, it still happened, but it was very, hard to do that back in 1937 for, obvious historical reasons, cultural reasons, back in the day. But then they're also implying another thing, because if you've read, this is all based off a book, by the way, so any spoilers I give, I will try not to, but because it is in the movie, but there's another character, the mother of Letitia Wright's character, is also kind of interested in someone, and vice versa, in the movie, who is also white. So I'm like, okay, well, there's that. Well, and then there's another couple that I'm not going to reveal that I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And then I'm thinking, wait, what? Okay, so all in one movie, we're dealing with three very atypical couples for the time period. I'm like, okay, but given locations, the ideologies behind that were very much different around the world. So, you could have maybe gotten away with some of that. I don't know if you could have gotten away with all of that given the time period, but either way. So I'm like, okay, that stood out. I commented this to my girlfriend and my dad when I got back home today, so I could, because he basically says, I bet I know how it ends. Or I bet I know who did it. Is that, the last movie ended with, Poirot saying like he's on holiday. It's about the whatever case. It's like, no, sir, there has been a death on the Nile. That lays no bearing into it. Like, the death on the Nile doesn't happen until halfway through the movie. And that is one of, I think, the big things that hurts the film for me. Not hurts. Brings it down a peg compared to the other one. Whereas the other one, sure, it took its time a little bit, but ultimately the murder on the Orient Express took place, I want to say it was within 30 to 35 minutes of the film, and then the rest of the film is the mystery. Here, this film is at a runtime of, okay, where's my runtime for this? I'm on IMDb, so give me a second. Here, the film is at a runtime of, stop moving around, God, I hate when, oh, there it is, 2 hours and 7 minutes. And let me actually get the Murder on the Orient Express's runtime here. Because I'm probably not, I'm probably not correct completely on everything, but let's see here. Runtime. It was, length of time was, where are you? You might just leave, Sean. This was an hour and 54 minutes. Okay, so this, so Death on the Nile wasn't an extreme amount longer, but it was 14 minutes, basically 15 minutes longer, which is actually a significant amount of time. And whereas I felt they got pretty much to the murder within the first third of the movie, it feels like they take a full, I'm not joking, it feels like a full hour. The first half of the movie of this one, it takes forever to kind of get to that. Now, don't get me wrong, we're surrounded by a bunch of fun, colorful characters, so that helps quite a bit, actually. But I'm like, okay, when is the murder? Because I'm like, I've never read the book, and I've never seen the other original movie of this, assuming they did original movie, which they very well may have. But I'm like, well, yeah, I can kind of pinpoint who's going to end up dying, even though they don't reveal in the trailer, just like they didn't reveal in Murder on the Orient Express who was going to die. Although, again, you can kind of put it together. This was just like, okay, let's get to it. And then who else is going to die? Because they do reveal in the trailer that other people did die. And I'll say, there was one death that happened that I was very surprised about. Like when one of the characters turns up dead, I'm like, okay, well that's a character that died. But when they got rid of another character, I'm like, that character was I really legitimately like that character. I'm like, and the circumstance of what happened. It's very unfortunate. Like you felt very bad. Like I was both surprised and like, oh no. So I'm like, you solved this, Poirot. You solved this. So there is that. Army Hammer. I know I got to get the Army Hammer because there's a big controversy going on with Army Hammer right now. And now that I say that, I'm just curious, does he have anything lined up right now? Is anyone wanting to work with him right now? My best guess is probably not. Now, I don't know the actual issues going on with the Army Hammer thing. Which sucks because and it sucks that he might not get. Yeah, this is the last thing he's got nothing slated right now, which sucks really because Army Hammer is a great actor. Call Me by Your Name. I think he got a nomination for that. Loved him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's in The Social Network. Sorry to Bother You. Apparently he's in that. So he is Free Fire. Oh yeah, I remember him in Free Fire. Oh, he was great in Free Fire. The movie was just okay, but he was good, really great in it. So it really sucks that this kind of stuff happens. It really does. Lone Ranger, as bad as that movie is, he's doing his best he can. But take Army Hammer out of the equation. Like, just take all that controversy out, which is what I did. He's legitimately good in the movie. I mean, is he a revelation? Is this his swan? Is this a Call Me by Your Name kind of? No. No, it's not. It's not supposed to be either. Like, I don't see any awards being thrown out for this. Nor should they be, honestly. I don't think. But it did what it had to do in being an entertaining movie, definitely. An entertaining mystery, which I will say this. I was able to piece together at least half of who did it. Because that is the one spoiler, if you've never read the book or seen like the original film, which I'm pretty sure there probably was an original film, is that there is more than one person involved in this. But then again, there was more than one person involved in the previous one, too. So that's really not that big a spoiler. I was able to guess half of the guilty party. Because they do set up the mystery pretty well. If you're paying attention, all the clues are there. Whereas in the original, like in the last movie, I'll admit, like, paying attention to, I don't know if you could piece together they were all involved in it. By the way, that movie's now 5 years old now. So, spoilers! Yeah, anyway. Yeah, how dare you say that? It's like, look, if it's in the trailer, it's fair game to talk about, okay? It's like, but I didn't see the trailer. Well, it's been out for a while, so if you didn't watch the trailer, but watched a review from someone giving their opinion on it, who, is just only going to say things that was available to the public, that's on you. I hope that just freezes. Maybe I should just go through the video and just go like, you. Just freeze for like 10 minutes straight. So yeah, they do make it like a mystery you can follow along to a certain degree, definitely. I will say they don't really. I don't know if it was really telegraphed very well. Well, no. I guess you can figure out the second half of the party if you're paying attention. Also, I'll say that too. And where it ultimately leads, definitely. So yeah, I definitely like the movie a lot. It's got a good bit of charm to it, as always. It's got some humor. It's got some drama. It's also got some decent messages too. It talks a lot about love and what it does to people. I think that's a perfect summary of what the theme of this film is. It's love and the things we do or don't do for it. So yeah, and then we get some cool, fun little background notes about character. Like we learn actually what happened to Hercule Poirot's love, Catherine, and the origin of his mustache. And when you have a mustache that dapper, you need to know the origin of it. So absolutely you do. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I do. If you like the Murder on the Orient Express film, you'll like this. It's an ensemble cast. Everyone's doing great. I enjoyed it. I hope you would too. And it's Super Bowl, Valentine's Day on the same damn weekend. Super Bowl, then Valentine's Day. This is going to be a weird weekend for the movies, to be sure, because the Super Bowl is one of the few days out of the year, even by holiday standard, and it's not a holiday, but a few days out of the year, even by standards of holidays, where it will directly affect the movies. Like Christmas is one. And I'm talking about if it falls on the weekend, obviously, because obviously Super Bowl always falls on the weekend. But Christmas this year fell on the weekends, fell on Saturday, which I think directly impacted the box office. Absolutely. But Christmas, yeah, that's going to directly impact the box office. Thanksgiving can because of a lot of traveling in and out of state. But other than that, though, I mean, 4th of July doesn't really do much, honestly. Halloween doesn't do a damn thing. I like St. Patty's Day doesn't. Martin Luther King Day can. It can. But really, it doesn't actually do much except actually bump up the theaters a little bit. So there's very few days out of the year that can actually negatively impact the movie theaters on the weekends, opening weekends. But Super Bowl's one of them, so we'll see what happens. But you get Valentine's Day coming up beyond that. So it's a very weird weekend coming up. I digress. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching. I got to pre-record my What If for tomorrow, and I'm probably going to go see Marry Me tonight. My dad brought it up, it's like, well, you could go see Jackass, and I go, I could. I actually don't really want to see Marry Me, but I do believe I was requested to see it also. So, I also, and here's the thing, when it comes to two movies, let me backtrack a little further quick. When it comes to one movie, like, okay, I tried to go see that movie coming out. When it comes to 2 movies coming out a week, I do my best to see both those movies. But when it comes to 3 movies coming out a week, Death on the Nile, Blacklight, which is the new Liam Neeson standard action fair movie, and Marry Me, I really can only find the time to see 2 of them because I've only got so much time and I only have so much funds. So yeah. So if I go out tonight to see a movie, which I very well might still, it'll probably be Marry Me. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later.